Shalom Aleichem. It's been a busy few weeks and it's almost Yom Kippur. I'm going to try to sneak in a running commentary here, pre-Yom Kippur. Have you ever thought of Yom Kippur as a love story? Not fear, not guilt, not dread, but love. Strange, right? We call it the Day of Atonement. We think of fasting, confessing, repenting. But the Alter Rebbe, the founder of the Chabad movement, taught that at its core, Yom Kippur is about love. Interestingly, we don't know when the Alter Rebbe said this Mamar. His name is Rabbi Shneir Zalman Leviati, and we only have an abbreviated transcript of this, which survived. But our Rebbe, the Rebbe, loved this mimer, and he spoke about it a few times. He taught it, and shortly before his mother's passing, at a Farbrengen, at a Hasidic gathering, he explained it and expanded it. And that night, she passed away, his mother, on the 6th of Tishrei, which was just a few days ago. So in her memory and her merit, we'll share this beautiful teaching from the Chabad, founder of the Chabad movement. And he says as follows: the Song of Songs, Shir HaShirim, says, I am asleep, but my heart is awake. The voice of my beloved is knocking. Open for me, my sister, my companion, my dove, my twin. What's that all about? So he says it's describing us. On the surface, we're asleep, we're caught up in the routine of life. But inside, we're really awake. We have a love for God that's so strong that it never dies. But because it's asleep sometimes, we need a knock. So God knocks and says, open up the door. Open up a crack. Open up a pinhole. Just a pinhole. That's all it takes. You open up a pinhole and I will flood you with light and establish this connection and strengthen our connection. And God over there in the Song of Songs calls us, describes us, a sister, companion, a dove, a twin. And each of these point to a different dimension in a bond, in the relationship that we have with God. The sister, connection of siblings, is unbreakable. You might live in different cities. You might even stop talking, but blood is blood. And the Alter Rebbe says that our soul is like God's sister. We might drift, but a family never dissolves. A companion or a spouse, this is the love of partnership, building together. Marriage isn't just affection, it's creating a shared home. We are building God's dwelling place in this world through our Torah and our mitzvot. And even if our building looks messy, He still calls us His partner. A dove, the bird, is famous for his loyalty. He doesn't mate to mate. He mates to bond and stays with one. And that's the Jewish soul. We may try chasing other things, but deep down, our bond is only with one. Our loyalty is only with God alone. But twins are intertwined. When one feels, the other feels. And that's how God relates to us. When we hurt, He hurts. When we rejoice, He rejoices. We're bound up with Him in an inseparable way. And that's how much He loves us. And that's what Yom Kippur is really all about. So, we all think about Yom Kippur as a day for tshuva, for return, repentance. So what does that really mean? According to Hasidus, it doesn't mean wallowing in guilt. It doesn't mean replaying our mistakes on loop. Tshuva means returning to your heart, realizing that your bond with God is still alive, celebrating and building who you are, not just mourning what you've missed. And here's the kicker. According to Hasidus, joy is not optional. If I feel like it, if something comes my way, I'm happy. No, joy is the opening that lets God in. Sadness, depression locks the door. Even a crack of joy, a pinhole, a smile opens the door to God very wide. And that's why, in some sense, Yom Kippur is called the most joyful day of the year. It's not just about forgiveness. It's about rediscovering our love story with God. The holiest prayer of the year, the climax of Yom Kippur, the Ne'ilah, the closing of the door, the locking of the door. People often think this is your last chance, your final shot before the gates of heaven close. Pressure, fear, desperation. Quick, quick, quick. The Hasidic teachings, they flip it. It says Ne'ilah doesn't mean closing the gates on us. It means closing the gates with us inside. We're locked in with God alone in the innermost chamber. No distractions, no world. Just me and God. Just you and God. And that's not pressure. That's intimacy. That's the love story reaching its peak. God is holding us close and says, I'm not going anywhere. You and I, we're in this together. So here's the question. Will we stay asleep or will we hear the knock? Will we be bothered to open the door, a little pinhole, and see that endless light? Yom Kippur is not just about atonement. Atonement, if you break up the letters, it's at one-ment. Atonement at one-ment. It's our oneness with God. It's our love story. It's a beautiful teaching from the Alter Rebbe, the first Chabad Rebbe, the founder of the Chabad Hasidic movement, also in memory of the Rebbe's mother, Rebbetzin Chana Schneerson, who was a mother of royalty and regality. She birthed the Rebbe. Parenthetically, my mother had a most profound and amazing, we'll say, privilege and pleasure to connect with the Rebbetzin Chana, the Rebbe's mother, in a few times, in a few ways. One of them was when they were fleeing Russia. The passport, that there was a family passport. It had 5 children, a mother and a grandmother on it. My mother was one of those 5 children. She was about 3 years old at the time. Her mother came out, and the grandmother on that same passport was the Rebbe's mother, Rebbetzin Chana. So they left the communist Russia together and escaped the war. Later on, when she was older, the Rebbetzin Chana, the Rebbe's mother, needed people to help her in her home. And my mother, Mrs. Devora Alevsky, here in Cleveland, she merited to help the Rebbetzin in her home many times. She would stay there, she would serve her food, she would clean up, she would sleep there, and she tells many stories about that time. So anyway, everyone should have a Gmar Chasima Tova. Should be sealed for a good new year. Have an easy fast, and see you on the other side. God bless you all. Take care.